Okay, it shows we are recording. So, hello, and thank you very much for joining today's webinar. As most of you know, we do these once a month and try to pick a different technology in the industry that we feel you might benefit from hearing about. So, all of these sessions are recorded and put on our website. I'll show you where to go in a slide coming up. Today we're going to cover NEC's mobility solutions. There's been a lot of discussions recently when I'm visiting you or any of the other Forerunner salespeople are meeting with you around mobility and what options are available. So today Jason Zartman with NEC is going to cover a couple of those and actually talk about a few customer experiences here recently and even talk to you a little bit about what's coming out. So thank you, Jason, for joining. I appreciate it. So with that, we'll get into next slide. Okay. So if you go to our website, which is frtinc.com, and you go over to the News and Events tab underneath Webinars, that's all the webinars that we've done over pretty much the last year, we'll say. We've recorded them like we are today, and then we upload them onto the website for you to go back and download and listen to whenever you want to. Okay. As you can see, we've covered the UCE Manager solution, ACD solutions, ABST, UM8700 voicemail, call recording, biometrics, server storage, software-defined networking. So a lot of good information on there. If you have any questions about any of those, or if you need help with downloading them for some reason, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you, okay? So about Forerunner, NEC's partnership, a lot of you do know this, but for those that don't, Forerunner and NEC is probably one of the strongest partnerships that I've ever seen, okay? We are one of their top partners. They call us a triple diamond dealer partner, okay? We're one of their fastest growing partners in history. So this past year we just received an award. It was over 400% growth over last year. So we are growing pretty fast. With that, we were the first partner to install a virtualized SD9500, right? We were the first partner to install a smart enterprise solution, which in this case for a company called Box, it was NEC's SV platform, but NEC's software-defined networking sitting on Dell switches and routers. So Dell and NEC are partners in delivering that solution, and as you can see, a bullet down below, Forerunner is an exclusive partner for that solution. So a nice win for Forerunner, NEC, and Dell. We're also an exclusive partner for their NEC biometric solution, facial recognition. We say exclusive, but we're one of two partners, and we have several proposals on the streets right now. A lot of customers are wanting to see the solution, of course, budget for it, see how it can help them in their space, and yeah, that's taken off. It's actually a pretty neat solution. So that's NEC and Forerunner's partnership. Our philosophy is quite simple. We want to treat customers the way you want to be treated. And that's kind of, wrapping our philosophy around what we're doing now, right? We believe, and I strongly believe in, constantly working with you and educating and bringing the different manufacturers or solutions to you to see if it's something that will help your business, right? So that's our belief down to the core from Forerunner, okay? We're not a real big company, right? 128 employees last count. But the reason I like to show this slide is we're very small on the sales side. We're a technical, operations-driven company. We have over 2,200 certifications in our operations engineering team. We have what we call a tiger team. It's right now 7 members. It'll probably grow. It's a group of guys that have quite a few qualifications, certifications for emergency situations, for very large, complex implementations, and highly certified and dependable and all that good stuff. So that's kind of a unique thing that Forerunner's put together here recently. All right, so this, you might have seen this from NEC. This is actually Forerunner's evolution of Smart Enterprise. This is what we do. This makes up the core of Forerunner. Of course, it starts with infrastructure, right? And then you layer on your voice and UC solutions, virtualization, servers and storage. We've done a lot of work with the Navy recently around servers and storage. Wrapped around the network side, you know, software-defined networking. A lot of customers are looking into that and how it can help them. Wi-Fi and physical security, biometrics, I mentioned that earlier, are starting to come into play in our kind of portfolio of solutions. Cyber defense, SD-WAN, a company called CloudGenix. We work pretty close with them. They have a really nice software-defined WAN solution. And then, of course, you know, Forerunner brings all this together through our service management, right? Being able to bring all the solutions together, deliver them to you, and then manage those for you going forward. So that's our story. That's all I had. Not too much, I promise, because at the end of the day, every month we want to get into the latest technology and what solutions you know, we want to show you. So, Jason, are you ready, buddy?
I'm ready.
Okay, let me transfer it over to you. Does anybody have any questions on Forerunner before we move to Jason? No? Okay.
All right.
You should have controls.
I got it. All right. Everybody see my screen?
Gotcha.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Stephen. Hello, everybody. My name's Jason Zartman. I'm with NEC ECT now. We just transitioned from NEC America. I've been with the company for 19 years now. Originally started out in the DQA department for the SMB 2000, SV 9300, 8300, and now I moved on to product management for U-Mobility and MLC mobile products. The U-Mobility product has been out for some time, but let's just get into here. So the evolution of telephones, right? Everything's been moving from desk phones. We started off with single lines, and we got proprietary phones, right? We don't go too far back here. But it went to DEC, and then everybody's kind of moving to mobile phones and smart desk phones like our UT880. We started to see the DEC networks are starting to not be as popular anymore, and a lot of people are moving over to their BYOD device. Is there a question? Okay. So currently today, we have our U-Mobility out. This is a single line standard SIP third-party client. So it only has, it's one line. It's a single line standard SIP phone. You don't get a lot of features with it. You just get your standard third-party SIP features. You get some call transfers, some holds, and things like that. But you don't get all the extra line features and feature keys that you do off your D term with U-Mobility. So there are 4 flavors of U-Mobility. The first one is just a Wi-Fi only direct connect client. This version of the client you can just go download from iTunes or Google Play and install it on your device. But then you have to manually configure your accounts in the device. We go to the next step up, and it's a Wi-Fi only client, but it brings in a U-Mobility controller. That controller adds some nice new features to the solution. One, it gives you a central management console where you manage all your devices and all your provisioning settings for those clients, and who's using those devices are all configured there. And then with that, you also get over-the-air configuration. So once I get done configuring a client in my controller, I send an email out to that user. Within that email, there's a link. They click that link, and it automatically provisions the client and logs it in. So there's really no manual configuration when you bring the controller on. And it also adds a couple other new features, not new features, but a couple other options for connectivity from remote areas, maybe on your 4G or your Wi-Fi hotspots. You can remote connect through a SIP ALG or through an SBC. and always be connected with those clients. You can go to the next step or further up. It goes to a dual mode. This adds 2 new features to it. Adds single number reach, extended dialing, and we'll talk a little bit about each one of these as we move forward. And then the full feature adds the overall feature of handoffs between Wi-Fi and cellular networks. So like the first feature on U-Mobility with that controller, it adds this single number reach. This allows you to give out one phone number to your customers. It's always your internal desk line. So the system will recognize, okay, my U-Mobility client's turned off, I'm not registered, I'm not logged in. So the controller will take control of that call and present it to your cell phone. And so but to the calling party, it still looks like they're just calling you on your internal desk line. And then if your calls if you don't pick it up on your cell phone, that call can be pulled back and the voicemails are essentially stored on your PBX voicemail system. Next feature is extended dialing. This is mainly for overseas long distance calling, because currently today if you're on your cell phone and you try to make those long distance calls across the pond, you're going to deal with high costs, right? You're not accessing your PBX features, and you're not leveraging your infrastructure that you put in with your phone system. So with extended dialing, that call will be routed through your PBX phone system and then across your system's trunking there to go on out. To the distant end, it still looks like you're in the office. You could be out there on the golf course, and to the caller, it still looks like you're sitting in the office. That is extended dialing. The next feature is call transitions or handoffs between the Wi-Fi and cellular network. The way this works is if I'm on the cellular network, made a call with my U-Mobility client, as I move back in off of that 4G network, back into my Wi-Fi, the call will seamlessly hand over to your to the Wi-Fi network. There will be no loss of speech path, and really, I don't even hear a click sometimes when it hands over. And then as you move out of a Wi-Fi into the cellular network, the client will start to recognize, okay, my DB level is starting to get low, I'm losing service. Before it loses connectivity, it'll initiate a call to the cell phone and then seamlessly hand that call over to your cell phone. And then you can move back and forth between those two networks and never drop that call. So that's the U-Mobility today in a nutshell. That's what we have out there today with U-Mobility. And remember, again, it's a third-party standard SIP phone. We have a new release coming out of the server. It adds a couple new features to the U-Mobility. It adds a live group text messaging. You can see my pointer here. These are the screens of the push-to-talk or live group messaging. These are on the first screen here. These are like this is a group of colleagues, and then you can go down to single text messages. But within these groups, we can do text messaging back and forth, and then also you can do push-to-talk and broadcast an audio message out to all the devices in that group. That message is also stored into the text message history window, and you can go back there and replay those push-to-talk messages as well. The U-Mobility has already been certified and tested on several Wi-Fi networks, Aruba, Mirror, Juniper, Ruckus, and then we also support several different firewalls and SBCs for bringing those remote connection in from hotspots, Juniper, Fortinet, Palo Alto, and then we also support audio codes as well for that connectivity. What's also a nice tool inside the U-Mobility client is a built-in Wi-Fi survey tool. Maybe you've had some customers out there and complaining of dropped calls in an area. You can turn the client into a Wi-Fi survey tool, and you can register the DB levels and see if you need to add a new AP or something into that area to eliminate that dead spot. So that's e-mobility in a nutshell, and that's what's happening there. And then our next client for mobility is MLC, or multi-line client. This client is taking your desk phone off your desk and putting it onto your personal device. It can be on your iPhone, iPads, Android phones, and Android tablets today. It runs the same protocol as your NEC proprietary DT700 and 800 series phones, the ISIP and INSIP protocol. We're currently released on SB 91, 93, and 95, and we're also released on the 8000 series as well. This should have a date of 2016 on it. This is already released on the 8000 series as well. We do have a Mac and Windows PC version coming of the MLC. We're in beta currently today. We should be releasing sometime here in July for that client. The great thing about having the MLC on all your devices and your PCs and the UT880, that it gives us the user the same interface no matter what device they're getting on. It's that familiar look and feel. And they're going to be getting all their features that they're used to having on their desk phone as well. You get OEI control. So if you're using any type of UCE products, UC700, MC550s, you can get call control from your desktop to control these devices as well. And then, so here's an overlook of the MLC mobile phone layout. The top line up here in the display bar, this will give you your status if you're online, offline, maybe your license is expired or there's no license. It'll all show up here. And then this full black bar on top, this is also your message waiting indication lamp. This functions the same as your big LED that's on the top of all the NEC phones. Incoming call indication. You can change the color for if they're an external call, if they're an internal call. Message waiting, of course, and history is all displayed on that from that icon or LED. Then, of course, you have your 12-button dial pad, and you have access to your soft keys, and you have a few basic call control keys from this screen. You place the call on hold, hang up from here. If you have
Jason, real quick.
Yeah.
We might have a question. David, did you have a question about e-mobility before we keep on going about MLC?
Yeah.
I think he had a question around e-mobility.
Okay.
Oh, he's saying he doesn't have a microphone. All right, I'll see if I can answer. He says he has e-mobility, but it does not work on iPhone 7.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay.
I can talk a little about that. I'm aware of that. We so with the iPhone 7, we had a new build, and we tried to post it to Apple. Apple rejected our build because we don't support IPv6 on the application. And we had worked with Apple and told them, well, our phone systems, we're strictly IPv4 currently today, and our apps, we don't need to support IPv6. Apple has a new regulation where all apps must support IPv6. We're in the process of fixing that and having the apps IPv6 compatible so we can get them posted to Apple. I don't know if this is the same site or not, but if I need to get you something out there today for those iPhone 7s, I can most likely get you a trial. I can get you a trial code for an MLC client until that U-Mobility client is posted.
Okay. All right, great.
We could get you move you on up to an MLC and you might get familiar with that client as well before we can post the next build for U-Mobility. That's just
Thanks, Jason. David, after the call, I know you don't have a mic. Just give me a shout, buddy, and we'll talk about it, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, so back on the MLC here. So on the phone here, we couldn't show all the keys and all the functions on one screen. So if you swipe the phone, swipe the screen to the right, you'll get a few more call controls. You get the speaker button here. You can go into hands-free speaker mode, or you can click the audio device button here, and you can switch between your Bluetooth, wired headset, or your internal phone speaker, like if you're just holding it to your ear. Mute key, of course, and then peer-to-peer video between MLCs and UT880s. It's currently available on UT880s. The next build of release for MLC will bring that peer-to-peer video in as well, and that will allow you to do peer-to-peer video between all MLC clients, between UT880 and BYOD devices, BYOD and PCs, and BYODs and Mac PCs as well. Anything that's running an MLC client will be able to do a peer-to-peer video call between the two clients. Very similar to like a FaceTime. And then we have UC client access. We've enhanced this UC client to interface a little better with UCE and the web interface of the MC550. We currently have it out in beta, out of the site today, and we should be releasing that build within the next month to bring in that UC function. And that will give you your presence, instant message between clients as well. And you can set your presence, click to calling and things like that out of your UC. If you swipe back a couple times to the left, this will bring up the final screen of the MLC client. It's like I said, it's a 32-button DESI-less D term. You'll have 4 pages of 8 buttons, pretty much standard on any of our DESI-less D terms. These are line and feature keys. You can program these feature keys like you would on your D term. You can put OAI keys on here, log out, move calls, speed dial bins, anything like that from on these line feature keys. And then you also get the rest of your call control features, the recall, your transfer, microphone, of course, again, and also the feature keys. And there's also an exit and help key up here. I like to talk about these because a lot of people think that the exit key is what exits my app. These 2 buttons are the exact same 2 buttons that are on your desk D term today. If I'm in my display up here where my name is and I go into like my soft key and I do a history on my soft keys, if I hit the exit key, it'll bring my display back out to an idle display. It just exits me out of my different functions on my phone display. And the help key is the same too as your D-term desk phone, is you press the help key and then you can press one of these soft keys or one of these buttons and it'll tell you a little bit of help about the keys and how they operate. That's what it looks like on the personal phones, iPhones and Android phones. This is what it looks like on an iPad or a tablet, Android tablets. It also looks the same on Windows and the Mac PC. It gives you the same look across those devices. Looks also exactly the same as the UT880 as well. You have your 32 line feature keys are off to the left. You can scroll up and down through here to see all the keys. And then you have all your features and call control buttons just on this one screen. Since it's on a tablet, we do go into landscape mode, so if you like landscape mode, I like the landscape mode a little bit myself. And then there's just another screen of your contacts. It'll integrate with your device contacts, bring those in. You can do click to call out of there, out of your contacts as well.
All right, Jason, did we talk about, you might talk about it, but the FIPS requirement, we talked about that?
No, I have not got there yet.
Okay, sorry.
We'll get it. Have not got there yet. So we do have a little bit of roadmap for the MLC. We talked about that U-Mobility controller, how it allowed you to have a central management tool, do OTA configurations for those, added some nice features, a single number reach, extended dialing, and the handovers. The next build of the server that's going to be coming out, at 5.1, we're going to bring the MLC onto that server. That'll allow you to control both type of clients. You'll have a central management solution for all your mobile devices. It would be U-Mobility or MLC clients, depending on the use case for those devices or personnel. The MLC client, it's more of a business-centric user, has a lot of line feature keys, a lot of functionality. U-Mobility is just a standard SIP phone, making phone calls, receiving calls, not doing a lot of interaction with the PBX so much with those features. So being in a hospital environment, we do need some FIPS compliant devices. iOS devices are compliant. They've been compliant since version 7. And then it's really the device that makes the applications FIPS compliant. They're the ones that control the data that's on the device. And then we've also worked with an Android device, Android manufacturer called Zebra. They have a MC40 that is made for the healthcare. It's FIPS compliant as well. It's rugged, it's got disinfectant ready, it's able to handle all the rubbing alcohols and the cleaning solutions that are there. I'm not sure how well an iPhone will handle that type of, how those chemicals are, but I think they make hard cases for them to handle that. It does have a VoIP-ready chip done by Texas Instruments. These chips are very, they have to be there for VoIP. It's for allowing the handovers to hand off seamlessly between the APs, keep those calls up, eliminate some jitter, packet loss, and things like that. So it's on this device. It has a barcode scanner. This is great for nursing apps, scanning medications, patients, specimen collections, and things like that. So they do have some apps here for how they handle some of these features. For VoIP, we have tested with Zebra, the MLC client, and the U-Mobility clients on this device. We have these devices running at a couple different locations. Shands Hospital is using the U-Mobility client with this MC40 device. They're having really great success with it. And then there's another, Northwell is moving forward, and they're working with iOS devices and U-Mobility currently today with the controller and bringing that whole solution together.
Hey, Jason, it's John Schroeder.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I just wanted to also chime in here a little bit that we've done several implementations now at the VA with our partners like Forerunner, who has, the technical expertise on site to help, sideload the application onto some of these FIPS compliant devices, both the iOS as well as the Zebra handsets, and really getting great reviews. Several medical centers as well as even some on a VISN level. So we'd love to get involved with anybody on the call that's interested.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Sean. And yeah, and they've also, the Zebra handsets have also been tested with extension and healthcare for some text messaging alerts and alarms for the nursing staff. And then they do have some accessories for the device. They got some bulk chargers, just some use cases there. There's nurses scanning medication. I think she's planning blood samples there, but there's a single slot desk charger. You have a gang charger for multiple devices, and there's a multiple battery charger for the Zebra devices as well. So that's our mobility, U-Mobility and MLC clients that we have out and what's coming forward with those. I'm open to all your questions. If you have any more questions, we can feed them my way.
Thank you, Jason. Does anybody have any questions? I think there was a couple. Let's see here. Let's do the panelists. Can you transfer from SP350? What is it? I think Jim Horo, you're asking the question. SP350 license transfer to MLC?
No, they do not.
Right, okay.
They do not.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Hey, Stephen, I'd like to just jump in for a minute. From our point of view, NEC, I mean, obviously you've seen the technology now. Maybe some of you guys have already used it, but, if there's a facility out there or a customer who would, like to try this technology, we can set up proof of concept situations. We've done that successfully a few times already with some customers. So if that's a way that you would like to kind of kick the tires with this technology, please, contact Stephen. He'll get in touch with us, and, we can work towards that as well. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Absolutely.
And thanks, Reggie. Thanks.
I do have a question. How does the MLC client, how do the extensions register with the PBX if you're out on the cellular network versus the VA network, internal network? Is that accomplished through that controller?
Yeah, so that's how it works. That controller registers all the extensions to the PBX. So to the PBX, it always looks like those stations are registered. And then calls are presented to that server, and that server knows where you're located. It knows if you're on the cell network. It knows if you're on the Wi-Fi. It knows if you don't even have service. Then it can present those calls directly how they need to be presented.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully that, yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right, any other questions while we have Jason on the line? I at lunch today, I didn't expect that. Okay, well, if nobody has any questions now and you think of some later, please reach out to me. Be more than happy to get that answer for you.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, David, I'll send you, you just sent me a message. I'll call you, okay, buddy? All right, well, let's wrap this up. Thank you very much, Jason, for that. I appreciate it, and we'll do another webinar next month. If any of you have any ideas on what you'd want to see next month, please, call me, shoot me an email or something, okay? All right, well, if I don't talk to you, have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.